insane. Do I know any games similar to this I'd recommend? I don't think I've ever played a game anything like this before. This game is on a whole different level. I don't even know what to describe this game. Like, is this an RPG? What is this? Sand is dripping from a punch bag. The poster says, Sitius Fortis. The rest is worn off. Shot put ball. Worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. Oh no.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates.
Don't do it.
It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
Look, Kim, it's a trap. There are no collars on the barbell.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
Kind of bastard would just remove the collars? Should be a felony.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
Let us leave. Same? You think it's an RPG because the level up mechanics? That seems, suppose a feasible thing. Always blocked by old window panes and debris. If anything scary happens, I'm going to be very disappointed. Large demijohn full of strange liquid. What the heck is a demijohn? Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. It's also interesting because this game doesn't seem to have any like combat or anything like that to worry about so far. So it kind of has more in common with, like a story-based visual novel. Maybe even kind of close to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, in that you're investigating things and then you're just coming to like conclusions about things after you've gained a certain amount of knowledge. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. Oh, hold on. Let's get this first. Give me the money. Blue velvet, soft to the touch. Oh, moth bitten. Skis with slipstream painted on the laminated top layer. Steel rotor blades bearing a slipstream logo. Production schedule filament memory 50. No, I might if I sell this stuff, I might be able to pay back the store.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Examine the welkin.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the welkins.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden.
I love the pronunciation of glaciers. It sounds so good. Oh my goodness.
Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world.
And you're like, glacier, or glaciers, like, that sounds okay, It's on the uptick of okay, like, this is a pretty interesting word. It's not boring, but glaciers, that just perfect.
A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe." This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe."
Didn't I already inspect this?
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
You sound surprised and a bit cautious. Do you think I should turn it on?
We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
Okay, turn it on.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Look inside the compartment.
It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment.
Insert the production schedule.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Do you see that? Do you see that? Because that's deleted for me.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver.
Is it gone for you now? That's really weird. Yeah, it shows message deleted for me. Now it disappeared? Well, I just timed it out right now. That's so strange. Very, very strange.
Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
What's the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
Right. Thanks for the explanation.
That was a question. Have you inserted it into the core?
Yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Why did you call me Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
Do you have any other information about this company?
One moment.
You hear her flip through a catalog before she reads out with studious care.
Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad.
And what's that, this interactive call-in radio game?
Any other questions?
That's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
The old lady's voice disappears along with the static.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
A sprint?
Nothing happens.
Alright. Remove the production schedule.
The filament slides out of its glowing nest.
Let's find ourselves a password.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
Hold on, how do I know what Kedron mosaic tiles are supposed to look like?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
Aquarelle. That's a nice word. What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio frequencies for what?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
We're dealing with something medical here.
You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants.
Wait, who's the Game Master?
Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency.
It's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. All of this is gone, left unrealized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Why do you say that?
The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Scribbled across the notebook, developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Looks like an undercover counterintelligence program.
No, that's not it. I think...
Lieutenant takes a step back, steepling his hands.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
I mean, it'd still be a counterintelligence program.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
How are they planning to do that?
Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
Oh. This was Dungeons and Dragons. This was online Dungeons and Dragons before online was created. That's crazy. Well, in this game anyways.
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an interisolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
This was a role-playing game.
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with heat death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
The lieutenant tilts his head, thinking, yeah, you kind of want to play that game? It seems cool. You know, it seems cool. It's probably not necessary in today's age as far as, you know, like the method of pursuing this game, you know, over the radio. You know, we've got internet now, but very, very cool idea, and definitely very ambitious. Especially since, you know, at least in the Americas, Dungeons and Dragons was very... it was viewed as a satanic type of thing. So this would have never happened in the United States. This option. They were insane if they thought they could do this. I don't really like any of these options.
Yes, especially in here.
The lieutenant looks around the derelict room. The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor in front of your feet.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Apparently I've leveled up. More rhetoric. Okay, that is a bear with eyes. An ice cream maker defrosted and unplugged. That's a quick save. While collapsed, it's inaccessible now. Go over here first before I inspect anything else. A frozen ice cream maker that's still running.
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads off into the darkness, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Don't rip the red one out. You'll awaken the ghosts.
Mesh tank top. Intercom wires running into the breaker box. I have an idea where that goes. All right, we're going deep into the rabbit hole here, so let's go back here. What do we got?
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
What is this thing? It looks like a giant ice bear. Bridge.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
Crack open the dough.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Examine one of the ice cream wrappers.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
Take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Cannon. Okay. The giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
Lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper-carnivore.
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice.
I don't know. It worked for, Dang, what are those ice cream sandwiches? Kodak? No, that's the camera company. It starts with a K, I think. Anyways.
What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
Lieutenant points at a red, snaky cable running from the fridge.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
What are you doing?
Lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
Jesus. There's still a bunch of stuff here. Good money. Out the window, people's feet shuffling by on the street. Alright. Let's see what's upstairs. Click save. Oh yeah, and then we got a note from the fridge. Handwritten note that you found on the giant ice bear. It still bears some marks from the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used. Okay, but what does it say?
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswaf.
Ulisla. Who's the illiterate ginger kid?
Really? You don't have a single guess?
You mean Kuno?
Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on the filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Put the note away, I guess. Alright, I didn't realize I had to hit this button up here. I thought this was just like, oh yeah, this is the Interact tab and Interact.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
There's quite a lot to read here, actually. Look at all that content.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
Oh no. I went down a rabbit hole here. Mug an example of prejudice. Going to use it as an example of what not to do.
But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work. Just finish your case, detective.
Just finish your case, detective. All melting in the snow. A postcard.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. No one's home. Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now.
There must be another way to wake up whoever is in there. Maybe we can try yelling into the furnace downstairs.
Sometimes we just do silly things. Because we silly. You know, the way this game is going, I don't think we're going to get more than one case here.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
One's going to be tough. I need a 10, so I need 2 4s or higher. All right. Yo, hello, into the furnace.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
You hear a woman's voice answer.
you've awakened the entity.
Hello, are you there? Speak to me.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
After you, officer.
Okay. I have to remember to come back down here for those stairs that I didn't go to. Can sleep after 2100? Wait, that's 9 o'clock? I guess that's kind of reasonable. Quick save just in case this is the entity. This tray is full of dice. Colorful polyhedral dice, hundreds of them. Candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Oh no, is the agent an agent of randomness, of chaos? Oh man. Hopefully it's just D6s, you know. We don't need to get anything more complicated than that. Hold on. What do you mean by Milius?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
Pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
I'm not interested in buying dice right now. I'm a police officer and I need to ask some questions.
Of course, I can see that. I just thought you were a police officer looking for dice. How else can I help you then?
No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the whirling's backyard.
He stops to try and come up with an example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
And you never took your eyes off your work to look out of the window.
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
You often work Sunday nights.
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
I see. Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
Lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into the shadows above. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Oh my gosh. Well, there used to be... I found the building's intercom, but it's on a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wiro.
That's understandable. Fantasies are serious things. The mind is the drawing board of history.
I agree with that.
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
From what I've seen of so far, the project did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important.
That's too bad. I would have supported them. The project looked great.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic disc.
The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
All right, what about the other ideas?
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
He leans back, disapproving. I know a girl just like that. She works at the Freet as a cashier and not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. It didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
It's the market doing its job.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Sounds cool.
Megatherion.
Megatherion, a mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
I don't have a comment on drugs.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the afternoon air. Her eyes follow it idly.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
I'd like to ask her about more of the businesses, but this is a lot. Found the building's intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
So you're telling me that the doorbell with the empty name card was yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I was wondering about the Whirling in Rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then
is part of the Doom commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
I think I'm done. Thank you for your time. Have answered many a question. Still don't technically know the password, though. Probably on one of those things there, but not 100% sure. Alright, we can mess around with this.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
Because it's wasting electricity. How about that? I don't know why I unplugged it. I do things without reason.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has 1 cable missing. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Better crack open the lid.
You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Equip the pry bar by going to the Tools tab in your inventory. From there, you can equip it to a held slot.
Thank you. How do I do that? I guess I have to wait. Tools. Go.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
This is a 6. I don't think I'm going to go with this option. Don't think I'm gonna go with that option. See what's over here. Hoping this is the backyard where Kuno's friend is. Like, you ain't gonna hide from me now, sucker. Okay, never mind. That just goes there. I shouldn't have done this. It was not necessary. Okay. I'm running out of things. I should get this flashlight out of my hands.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark sarcophagus?
Yes, yes. How was it?
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
It was a charnel house of failed business enterprises leeching life energy from this bookstore.
I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us.
She shakes her head.
But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
You don't have anything of substance to tell her until you found that entity of hers.
Oh, I have to ask. Man, that's whack. That's whack. Alright. I actually have to ask Home Chick Slice about being the entity. That just seems silly. She's the entity. We know this. Crazy to me that we found $20 just lying around in this game so far. I only need $110 more to pay off my debt. It's crazy. Yeah, the way this game is going right now, I think this is like the only case. I can't move. I guess I need the flashlight. Boy.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a dye?
Heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Wait, how do you explain what happened to all the companies then?
It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail.
Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the store isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
No, the whirling isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off, and the customers have trouble paying bills.
And then there is me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Plaisance thinks it's because you're the source of it, a malignant entity.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. but I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
I'm willing to try this.
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief, the tool's sharp edge shining in the light of her desk lamp.
He's ran them all out. It's her fault.
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here.
I don't get it.
Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
But the question is, which did they start with, and which did they pivot to?
That's a good question.
What a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad.
Reality is ruthless.
Just like the rap game.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
Talk to the entity you told me about. Her name is Niha, and she's a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
No, ma'am, I have felt her aura. She is not the one to blame for this curse.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She looks perplexed.
The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
Sure. The source is in the taxidermist shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon this place.
Oh, how horrid! I knew something wasn't right about that place. Tell me, did you find a way to break the curse?
Yes, I performed the ancient Semines dispelling rites. This commercial area is doomed no more.
Of course. I trust my Semines wards and charms kept you safe while you perform the ancient rites.
He looks at you with sudden admiration.
All that matters is that the energies are retreating. I can already feel the curse lifting. It will be a long time until we're fully free of it, of course, but still. Thank you, officer. Truly, you've brought a better psycho-emanation to this humble bookstore, and that's no small achievement.
She so badly wants this to be over. She would have believed anything. It will only last a day or two, a week tops. Then
her mood will sour and she will feel the curse again.
All right then. All's well that ends well. Should we return to our ordinary lives?
Peace. Right. That was a lot of experience. Had nothing to do with my case. That's what a lot of this game has been for me, huh? Did I mark at 3 hours? See if this tells me. 9:02. We're gonna say no.